another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Relationships, ladies and gentlemen, are ongoing challenges.
Ongoing.
And I believe that's what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah. Hi. What's
Hello,
up, dude? How are you?
everyone.
We just kind of jumped in there. Broads,
We
it's
did.
good to see you guys again. It's good to talk with you. It's good to hear from you.
Uh-huh.
And me and Grayston are in the building. And, you know,
We're in the building. The crickets are in the building.
The crickets are in the building. It is funny. The crickets know when the microphones are on. So if you don't know, we're recording in my studio. So we do podcasts in here. We also do, for years I do music in here, all sorts of stuff that requires the amplification of sound.
Uh-huh.
In crickets, I happen to attract a highly intelligent cricket, and the crickets are highly tuned to know when you don't want them around, and that's when they show up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a bit of a bat signal they send out, and they go, "Hey, by the way, guys, they're recording. We should go check it out and maybe make some music of our own."
They're like, this is a chance to get on track.
We might get signed.
I might get signed right here. But Evan was also explaining his entire system to me, which involves lighters.
It's a wild system. I'm not going to lie to you. It's absolutely ridiculous. So the system
he was running around. I was hearing scratching on the outside of the doors, and he comes in and he's ducking down in the corners with a big barbecue lighter. And it's, there's carpet and it's all wood.
Yeah. I'm willing to,
It's sort of
test the flammability of the building.
I was over here. It's like, chill, man, do whatever you want to do.
So what I do is the doors of the studio have like steel beams in them, and they're hollow, and the crickets get inside. So what I found is a good technique to get them to run away is I take a lighter, I put the lighter underneath the pipe so that the oxygen and the heat goes up, and they get, oh my God, we got to get out of here. And then they all come dropping down and running away. It's wild, but I don't know how else to get them out of there. It's a wild move.
To me, it was the only context I got before I asked him was Evan goes, "Hey man, are you stressed?" And then he bends over and starts lighting his house on fire.
Because I'm not stressed. I'm not stressed at all.
Good, dude.
Why is he lighting his house on fire?
What are you doing, man?
I just want to see how far I can get it to burn.
How flammable is it really?
Yeah, right. They say this is a bad idea, but
I don't know. Electrical fire, insurance. We have insurance.
I think. Okay, so as we always do, we are incapable of thinking for ourselves. Mm-hmm. So we ask the broads, "Hey, will you help us?
Yeah.
Will you help us?" And so we said, "Hey, will you help us with things that you want unhelpful advice, bad advice with, ignorant advice," which is kind of our specialty at this point.
Yes, it is the wind in our sails.
It is very, very poetic. That was like a lyric.
I took a small hit of a joint before we recorded tonight, and we're going to see. I'm feeling very artsy.
Oh, okay.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay,
we'll see how it goes. Bring out more of a sensitive side of myself.
Yeah. Okay. You're like whatever it takes.
To get on the good side, just one time I want to perform. One time I want to perform better than you in the comments.
Listen.
So we'll see.
My time is right around the corner.
Everyone thinks you're an angel.
Listen, it's my act.
It is.
Let me say the nice things to make everyone, think I'm way better than I am, because I'm not. It's it's like an evil plan.
You do it.
You know what I mean? I'll say I put together questions to set you up to make me look good. That's kind of my big master plan with this whole thing.
We'll see how tonight goes. To be fair, the last few episodes I tried to do better last episode. I don't enjoy talking about myself. I don't know if you can glean that. But now we get to talk hypothetically, which is so much better to discuss hypotheticals.
Yes. didn't even hit a joint, but I feel like I did. I mean, there's no question that like honesty comes with like possible backlash, because sometimes, I mean, and that's the thing too. Anyone who gives anyone a hard time about being honest, sometimes I think at the end of the day, we're like, hey, we're all honest. We're all trying our best out here. Well, and listen, life is messy, man. Yeah. Life is messy.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's
you're like. Correct.
I mean, I have no excuse. There's no excuse. I went on here. I said it. I have to listen to myself say these things back. Oh, what is this? Becca's birth control alarm? Yes. Stop.
What do you mean a birth control alarm?
So Becca has trouble remembering to take her birth control. So she has asked me to help her out.
Yeah.
And I am diligent.
Oh yeah.
On this.
Yeah. It's like if I've ever been diligent about anything in my life.
Oh, I've learned my lessons. I've learned my lessons. She was like, she mentioned it a couple times, like, oh, like I just haven't taken it tonight. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, we've played with fire so many times.
Like, now this isn't moisturizer.
No. This is like, there's a system here. Yeah. It has to happen. So she had me get in charge of it. And let me just say, I'm not in the house right now, but I did text her. The last 3 nights I have personally delivered the pill. To her.
Right, to her mouth.
To be like, well, yeah, like, because she's
you're like the warden. I want to watch you. What
tongue?
Yeah,
show me.
It's like
side to side.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
Do it.
Yes. And well, this is the thing is like when you start it, you can, whatever time you take it, that's what time you have to take it. Like within like an hour.
Oh, you have, okay. So it's like, you can't just be like popping it once a day. It's gotta be at 7 p.m.
It has to be within this like this 24-hour cycle.
Oh my God.
So she took her first pill at the time we put the kids down.
Okay.
So every time when the alarm goes off, she's changing a diaper. She's nursing. You can immediately see how the snooze button goes into effect. Yeah. And then you just put the kids down and you just 100% forget that you even have to do this thing.
And it's an inconvenient time. Mm-hmm. She's not chilling on the couch. Mm-hmm. It's right in the thick of like her doing a bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. So does she fight back a little bit? I'll do it in a sec.
No. But it was the conversation used to be that she'd go, oh, I forgot to take it. And then I would be stressed out about her not having taken it. And then it was just like, okay, well, let's just avoid this entirely, problem solve. If she's not managing it very well and we don't want to do any of the other options in terms of what are they called?
IUDs?
No, we don't want to do the IUD because I'm learning about these things. There's a probability that thing will go into her uterus.
Whoa. I always thought about that. I always thought like it seems scary.
Dude, the stats. So I can't remember what stat this is, but we were talking about that and we were talking about the arm chip. And one of those stats.
There's an arm chip?
There's a chip full of hormones. Okay, no, it is. The IUD has an 8% chance
of going inside
inside someone's uterus, and then it like can tear up your uterus.
And then you get surgery, basically.
We were like an 8% chance is
that's enough.
That's like, how is that even legal?
That's enough.
Yeah. And then the chip is a hormone chip. This is I always get nervous talking about this because it's like now I'm talking about things you can Google.
Maybe we shouldn't.
But anyway, it's a chip that does stuff. I don't want to explain it.
It's like the nicotine patch of birth control.
Yeah. But it has so much, the thing is supposed to last like 4 years, that it has so much, I think it's hormones, but it has so much because it's supposed to last those 4 years. So some people have these crazy reactions where it like completely changes their personality.
Oh yeah.
And become like incredibly depressed and all this. So we were like, well, no, we're not going to do that.
Right.
And then it was either me getting a vasectomy or her just taking birth control.
Are you going to get snipped?
I don't really want to.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it, but we don't know. We're on the fence about whether or not we're done having kids.
Really?
And yeah, we are on the fence.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I'm not on the fence.
I was going to say, I thought it was like you guys were pretty like, oh, we're going to have a bunch.
No, we as a collective are on the fence because we're on opposite ends of the camp.
Sure. I mean, 50-50.
Me personally, I'm over it.
Right. You're right. You're done.
Yeah.
Sign, seal, deliver. Let's go.
Yeah. When's college?
But you don't want to get snipped.
No.
So what's that logic?
Well, the logic is just simply we haven't made our decisions yet. Like right now, the way our life is going is like we're in this part of our life.
You might at some point.
3 years.
You never know.
Yeah, I might feel differently.
Oh, you're just saying currently.
Yeah.
You're not saying, okay, gotcha.
In terms of like your rates go down when you reverse the surgery, even though it's reversible.
Okay.
Like male fertility goes
Down.
And
If you reverse it.
Yeah.
Got it.
My understanding. And then, I don't know, like there's a history of questionable fertility in the male side of my family.
Oh, okay. So you want to be super careful.
Yeah. So we didn't actually know if I was like, well, we found out real quick whether I was going to say
there wasn't much of a, I wonder if it works or not.
Yeah.
It was about right away.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the, see, this is the thing. This is unedited. You guys get the full that's the personal life.
Talk.
Welcome to our living room.
Well, broads, we are here. We have to take a quick pause.
Bet
Becca,
you guys missed us, but you're just wishing it was us.
Just wishing
kidding. I highly
it was
doubt that.
They're killing it right now.
Honestly, we listened to this.
Yeah, we listened
yesterday.
to it. When we knew it was relationship advice, we had to take a quick little listen. Just to make sure.
A little nervous, but I'm impressed. I am thoroughly impressed.
I'm thoroughly impressed. We might all have some discussions later as separate couples about a couple things, but other than that,
we're good. I mean, we do not trust them to do the ad reads. Let's make that clear. So instead, that's why we're here to do a little quick pause.
That is why we are here. And broads, listen, I like to think of myself as a pretty patient person. I really do. But when it comes to standing in line, all patience is out the window, which means that going to places like the post office is pretty much my nightmare. And that's why I just don't go anymore. Nope, no more waiting in a long line just to send out a package or mail back online purchases like I always forget to do. But now I don't forget to do it because I use stamps.com. Honestly, thank God. What a lifesaver.
Here's the deal, broad. Stamps.com brings the post office to you. Literally. With stamps.com, you can do every single thing that you could normally do at a post office right from your home computer. Simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. And once your mail is ready, just schedule a pickup or drop off and you're good to go.
And you can't talk about stamps.com without talking about the savings. You're going to get access to savings you can't even get at the post office, like 40% off USPS mailing rates and up to 66% off UPS shipping rates. Plus, all of the time, you're going to be saving, not waiting in those lines, circling that tiny parking lot for forever.
Oh my gosh.
It's a
Why
win-win.
do they always have like 2.5 parking spots
Hey,
at the post office?
Quick question. Make them bigger, but you don't have to worry about it with stamps.com.
Stop wasting time going to the post office and go to stamps.com instead. There's no risk. And with our promo code CHATTY, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to stamps.com, click at the mic at the top of the homepage, type in CHATTY. That's stamps.com, promo code CHATTY. Stamps.com, never go to the post office again.
Well, broads, for this next sponsor, we have a very special guest with us today. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
What's your name?
Amber.
And what are we going to be talking about today?
A kiwi co.
We're talking about KiwiCo. We love KiwiCo. KiwiCo inspires kids of all ages to become problem solvers and critical thinkers with their carefully curated crates that will expose your kids to new concepts in science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And listen, the crates come with everything, right, Ember? Mm-hmm. And when you get a crate, are you able to read the instructions yourself and do it all by yourself?
Yes.
That's what my favorite part about KiwiCo is, that for all ages, they have different specialized instructions so your kiddos can take care of it all by themselves. And I'm always so impressed with how well Ember can do it. And I know all of your kiddos out there can do it too. And like I said, everything is included, so no having to run out to the store last minute. I promise you your kids are going to love it. And look at this box that we have, Ember. What's this box about?
Flowers.
Flowers. We're going to be doing flowers. It's capillary action. Do you think you're going to have a fun time making it?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite thing about KiwiCo?
That you can discover new stuff.
I love that answer. You're a KiwiCo kid, huh? And your kid can be a KiwiCo kid too. We are about to go do this capillary action box. We are so excited. And like Ember said, she discovers new and great things. And with KiwiCo, there's something for every kid or kid at heart every month with 30% off your first month plus free shipping on any crate line. Just visit kiwico.com/chattybroads. That's 30% off your first month at kiwico.com/chattybroads. That's kiwico.com/chattybroads. What was it, Ember?
KiwiCo.
KiwiCo. Thanks for being our special guest.
Bye.
And you know who now we're going to cut to? Daddy on the podcast. Do you love Daddy?
Daddy.
Daddy. Can you say daddy da 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 da?
Daddy, da, daddy, da.
Back to the broads.
Well, speaking of kids, let's get into relationships. So you guys sent in some awesome questions.
You really did.
You guys always do. There's always so many good ones. And so let's just dive in. I think we got some good ones here. The first one we got, tips for getting over your ex. Should I still be friendly with them? If the breakup was amicable, how do I get over the hurt of a bad breakup, seeing them move on? How fast is too fast? The whole breakup situation. That's a good one because I feel like it's so different for each, situation, whether you were friends for a long time before, whether you just met and then started the relationship, how the person is, all that stuff. Do you have like a personal, hey, I always kind of, every girl that I've ever broken up with or got broken up with, this was kind of my take, or was it, each one was different?
Each one's different. I have to say it's far easier for me to move past things when I'm the one making the decisions.
Sure.
It's when people end things with me.
Right.
That then I'm like, why?
But it says amicable. It says amicable. So let's say they both go,
what is
hey,
amicable?
Well, let's say that you just go, hey, working, traveling, we just kind of lost a little bit of that connection, but we have a lot of history together. What do you do with that?
Well, so I mean, there's that side. There's also the just the simply like when you're both are like, this is not what it once was.
Right.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, that's
I think
I gotta really okay. Tips for
Well,
tell me what you think. Tell me what you think.
Well, let's say this. Let's say you're hurting. You know what I mean? Because obviously if it's chill, it's not a big deal, whatever. But let's say you're hurting. Let's say you broke up with a person, but it was really hard. Let's say you broke up because, there was just unhealthy things going on, but you're still totally attracted, totally into them. My personal thing is you got to not see them for a while. You got to commit to almost 6 months.
That was one of the first things on my mind.
And then you got to in my opinion, you got to sit in it. You can't ignore it because it'll come back to bite you later. You got to give yourself a week or two to cry or talk to friends about it, really sit in it if it's bad, and then do a bunch of fun shit.
Yeah.
Go just do new things, try things you haven't done in a while. You got to cleanse the palate.
Well, and key thing is the key reason why you don't want to see them is because you may be you may end up going to a mutual thing where your attitude's just sort of whatever at this point. And then you don't show up looking your best. Or you don't show up in the best situation, and then you never want that person, no matter how amicable it was, you don't want them to ever see you on your back foot.
You got to be on your game.
They need to be on your game, and they need to be like, oh, what's been going on with you? And you can't just be thinking about you.
Right, because that's
weak.
Not going to work.
You got to come with the fire, and you got to be like, oh, I was just I was on this crazy backpacking excursion, living with these indigenous people.
It was unbelievable.
It was incredible. It was life changing. It's just soul opening. You have to say things like soul opening.
There's so many things in my past that I'm realizing now, oh, I'm not that person anymore.
You start talking like your life is on a path.
And then they start to go, what? Wait, I didn't get this when we were together. I didn't get this new improved
You even
version.
start using keywords that stand out to them that before were dead to you. So.
Yeah, I've been reborn.
Yeah. Whatever.
I'm seeing things through a whole new lens. Just these, the classic phrases.
So yeah, this is why it's important to take time, because you also have to go through, you have to stew in there's always I feel like there's a period where you focus on things you miss about the relationship. And then a few weeks later, you get clarity and you start playing back conversations.
Yeah.
And the conversations now have a different hue to them. And then all of a sudden, like, you need to allow yourself the weeks to relive all these times and then find reasons to not like them.
That's the thing too, because when you always think about the good times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whenever you miss someone, you always think, man, remember we did that awesome thing? Remember that happened? That's not what you broke. You didn't break. Why would you break up then? If it was so great.
Exactly. Why would you, if you came to this decision, like, you weren't wrong, you shouldn't double back.
Right.
And then you also shouldn't stay angry at them, but you should have that, like, the anger over all the, like, situations where you didn't say something, or like, and because you didn't say something, then that pattern continued. Whatever that is, let that fuel the, like, now you're going to work out 5 days a week. Now you're going to travel. Now you're going to completely change your wardrobe and you're going to start wearing skinny jeans, or you're going to stop wearing skinny jeans, or you're going to start wearing leather shoes.
Oh, leather
stuff like
shoes.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you were just a tennis shoes kind of person and now you're wearing, like, leather shoes.
Which goes to my point, which is, like, you got to do a bunch of new shit.
Yeah. Get
You
a
gotta
tattoo.
New stuff. Because if you're sad and you're heartbroken, if you continue doing the same things, then all those things will remind you of the person and how they're not there with you anymore and how you miss them. Mm-hmm. That's why you got to, like, redo it all. So it's like the new wardrobe, maybe the new apartment, maybe the new whatever, because it's like now everything's fresh and you're not sitting on that chair going, remember we used to make out on this chair, watch TV from this sofa. You got to, like, I'm a big fan of redoing it.
And the big thing I think in this is I'm going to borrow a term from Crystal. Here. She's a villain from Becca season.
Okay.
Invest in yourself.
Love that.
That's the time to do it, is when you break up with somebody, because part of it is you're losing, there's an identity you had as a person, that you were a couple. Like we talked about, which is simply what is our take on children versus my take. It's like, there's it's the first and foremost identity, because Becca's part of who I am in my life right now. But now that you've broken up with somebody, it's just you.
Right.
So who are you now? Because you're not who you were with them, because they're gone. And you're not who you were before then. So who's this new you?
Damn.
So you got to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's a tip for getting over an ex. Okay. Should you be friendly with them? Yeah, be the bigger person.
Right. Don't be the victim. Don't be the person that I can't be friends with them. It's like, I mean, unless it was toxic, obviously. Yeah. But if this person's a good person, it just didn't work out. I agree.
Yeah, and if they're toxic, be patronizing to them.
Be horrific.
Yeah, be like a school teacher. They're just a small, innocent child who doesn't understand the larger mechanics of the world.
Yeah. Red flags. What are red flags to you?
Skechers, green text bubbles.
Green text, big.
Green text is huge.
Big. You hit me with the green text. It's like, I was really nice meeting you. We'll talk later. Maybe never. I don't know.
No, I'm teasing on the Skechers thing. Apparently that came around. The green text bubble is still like, I'm sorry to everyone on an Android, or there's something about that sapphire text bubble.
It just says something.
It's not blue.
It says something about you.
It says crystalline, like there's a glow.
Not a good glow.
No, to the blue, I'm saying.
Oh, to the blue, yes.
The blue has, yeah.
The blue says, hey, we get each other. The green says, what happened to you?
I'm sorry, but your texts are just sexier when they're blue.
That's true. The green is just, what happened? Like, where did you go wrong? What happened in your life that you decided this was a good idea?
You bought an open-ended sourced product instead of a closed source system. You didn't buy into the Apple culture. That's where you went wrong.
Yeah.
The problem is, what it says to me is, and this is, please don't take this the wrong way, but it says to me, you're budgeting.
Because here's the thing about budgeting. We all budget. Every single one of us budgets. But you just don't want to look. You don't want to act like you're budgeting.
Budget so that you can splurge in certain ways.
Exactly.
And guess what? Your data plan's the same for either phone.
And you're on your phone all the time.
All the time. And every time you communicate with other people, you budgeted on that.
Yeah. And also, like, you're trying too hard. The blue works perfect.
It looks great.
You're now going out of your way to just be problematic.
Have you ever been in a group text with people with green? It's awful.
You can't text them on your
computer.
computer.
We now stop including we have
out.
separate text threads. If you have a birthday party, you just don't include them.
also can't iMessage.
You say you message them separately,
right?
But they don't get to be a part of the overarching group text with everybody.
So I guess if you don't like friends,
yeah,
green's for you.
Yeah.
But in all serious, I have this one. This one to me is pretty important. If you have good friends, and I don't mean you have like bad friends or toxic friends or people that are like, bring you down or whatever, but if you have good friends that you spend time with, connect with, they build you up, you build them up, and you get together with someone that pulls you away from them or your friends don't like, I'm a big fan of like, if you trust your friends, if they're good people, if they work hard, if they, you know what I mean? Like we all have like people that are just like, dude, why are you hanging out with that person? Whatever. I'm not talking about that person. I'm talking about the person that's like a good person that you trust, that you look up to or whatever. And then they have like, I don't really like this person. Don't ignore that. So if that person that you just got coupled up with is pulling you away from them, talking shit on them, being critical of them all the time, and then not wanting you to be with them, that to me is a big red flag. Because I've seen it so many times in my life with friends who got with someone and then they just like pulled away and then just never really hung out with them ever again. To me, it's like I've seen it too many times to realize that is a real surefire sign of someone who's like not like kind of a toxic person.
Dude, so at first when you started talking about this, I thought you were going to talk about a green flag, which was friends' approval.
Well, that's a green flag.
Yeah, so
sure.
This was like, this one goes hand in hand with that, because you just do the opposite. If this very trustworthy person approves of this person, that's a point in their favor.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I agree wholehearted. In case you're wondering who these people are in your life, they're the person who says they think you're drinking too much. They're the person who's like, how's everything between you and your parents?
Right.
They ask you they say the fucked up shit, and they ask you about the fucked up shit.
They actually care about, they're not just like,
that's
great,
the person,
man. They're
when
the person
they're like,
digs in.
Yo, this person is bad for you. You should listen, give them don't do what they say necessarily, but give them the time of day and take their opinion into consideration, because sometimes they had a better perspective on what might be good for you in that situation than you have for yourself. Because we tend to put ourselves in situations where to me, the most attractive thing are the things I can't have. Typically it's, when you're getting treated bad, you start being like, what the fuck? Like, this is so elusive. Like, I want it now because it's hard to get. And then if I get it, it proves this value of there's like, it's so fucked up that we'll put ourselves in those things. But when your friend's telling you that you're in you just listen to them.
Yeah.
The only way I can think about these is like anecdotes from my dating, but red flags for me were always things of like, granted, this might be personal, but if I'm talking about ambition and someone's like, I mean, but you're fine. Like, like if you were to never do those things, like I'd be like, whatever. And I'd be like, I don't need that.
Right. Push me to be better.
I need you to be like, you're absolutely right. Like, and if you don't attempt those things, like, that's not the person. I want to be with the person who's going for those things and be like, yeah, shit. Like, so if I don't live up to those expectations of myself, then I'm going to lose you. So I better be the person I want myself to be. Like, I always wanted to date people who make me want to be a better version of myself.
And you feel like if you don't, you might lose them.
Yeah. Not people who are like, you're fine how you are.
And that's honestly, it's the same goes with friendships. And that's why people are, and I mean, not people like people out there. I mean, everyone does this thing with romantic relationships where they completely treat it differently than a really good friendship. Mm-hmm. Because now you're having sex. So now all of a sudden it's not the same. And it's like a relationship is a friendship with an extra added element to it, which is like romance. Mm-hmm. But you wouldn't recommend being friends with someone who doesn't inspire you, who doesn't push you, who doesn't ask you how you're doing, who doesn't call you out when you're slipping. The same goes with the relationship with someone. You should be with someone who's constantly saying, hey, what's going on here? Why aren't you? I know you're better than this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're working hard to impress you and to push themselves to the next level. So I completely agree. It's just weird how people have like friends in their career and then they have their relationships. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm a part of this relationship and it's hard and this doesn't seem right and this is toxic, whatever. But I put up with it, because I love her or I love him. And it's like, or you wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, what is that? It's so crazy. No,
I also wonder if there's like,
we're all guilty of it too. It's like,
we are all definitely guilty of it. But like, I have seen friends who, like, for whatever reason, to me, it's like if they have sex with someone, like if they're loosely dating someone and they start having sex with them, they feel like guilty if they're going to like. I don't think guilt's the right word.
I see what you're saying.
It's like they feel like they owe this person
because they've had sex. Now I owe you whatever they want, almost
in a way. And
I know
I'm
what
like,
you mean. Like there's like a guilt involved.
Yeah, but it's like it's not entirely guilt. But I've always just been like, I don't feel like if you have sex with somebody, you don't owe them anything other than like honesty and the time of day.
Normal respect.
But like,
I mean, normal respect.
Not like, you don't have to make these like crazy sacrifices of like, hey, like I know that you love golfing and surfing, but like you're not allowed to do that anymore. If you're gonna like, if we're gonna continue to do this, be like, there are people in the world who will let you do the things you like to do and get naked and
exactly, and be attracted to each other.
Fiddle around.
Those people exist.
Yeah, they exist.
Yeah, people put up with so much bullshit in a relationship because they're just kind of together. Yeah. But it's like if a friend was making you miserable, you just wouldn't hang out with that friend anymore.
No. You should choose the bullshit that you're going to deal with. Yeah. You don't have to deal with bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
You will.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a part of a relationship.
You will, but you can choose it.
Right. Yeah. And like, it's just like, it's just like someone who looks out for you. This was like a random one, but I thought a big red flag to me is someone who's super obsessed with your exes. Constantly.
Threatened by them?
Threatened, but I think it's not as obvious as, like, I think that's the byproduct of the source of it, which is like, if you're super obsessed with my exes, you're not interested in like going forward. You're just obsessed with how you compare with them. You're obsessed with how, the person will look at you compared to their exes. You know what I mean? It's like this weird. I think a real sign of maturity is you're with someone who doesn't really like, who just goes, "Oh, that's cool," or "Oh, have you ever dated someone like this or like this?" Cool, but isn't like, what's her name? What's his name? What was, you know what I mean? What do they look like? Let me see the Instagram. Like, that's not a good sign.
Am I bigger than them?
Wait, am I what?
Could I take them? Could I beat them up?
Yeah, could I beat them up? Whatever.
All
it's
that
like
stuff.
It's just like when you're obsessed with how am I the best one you've ever been with. That's a red flag. Mm-hmm. It's a red flag because you're already setting up this thing of like competition.
Also for me is never talk to your exes. Like Becca and I talk to our exes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If you never talk to your exes. Right, yeah. Right.
Not if they never do. I'm like, whatever, that's your own thing.
Right.
Don't tell me I can't.
Yeah. Unless it's like a weird thing.
I guess that's just control factors in that way. Mm-hmm. All of the type of controlling, like imposed control, not default control of like, right now, I hardly have any free time to see my friends because I have children.
And I'm working.
And my job and all these things. And you have to balance your job and your relationship and then your social stuff.
Yes.
So like there's default time away from those people. But when your partner is starting to enforce unnecessary, like start putting up unnecessary restrictions, like that for me is a red flag.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Positives are all the opposites.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just everything we said. If someone's
the opposite,
if someone's doing the opposite, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I thought this was a good one, and I thought.
Oh, and of course, blue text bubbles. That's a positive.
Yeah, but that's the number one.
Yeah.
How do I ask a guy I've been hanging out with if he's interested in more? How do I not just be the fuck buddy?
Well, without saying, you just have to ask them. I mean, no, that's not the, whatever. We're going to take that part out. How do you do it? How the fuck? How do I ask a guy? Okay,
so here's my view.
You go.
Scarcity. Start pulling away.
Oh. Yeah.
Start pulling away.
It's one way.
Not in a manipulative way. You don't pull away trying to get them to react to you. You simply go, cool. If this person isn't taking initiative, right, to want more of this, and I want more of this, I think that, like you said, on the other side of just communicating, I think a lot of times it's just like, you know what? Start to go, cool. I'm going to start taking care of myself. I'm going to start doing my own thing. I'm going to start seeing other people. I'm going to start doing all this. And then if that person realizes, oh, I didn't realize what I had, I'm going to now step up and communicate, hey, I was taking advantage of the situation. I was getting my cake and eating it too. And if that person steps in, then hey, they just needed a kick in the pants a little bit to realize that they were slipping. But I really am like, sometimes the over like, do you want more? What who are we? What are that? It's like, if they really wanted it in the moment and they were mature enough to handle it, they would have done something. And sometimes you just pulling away might be what they needed.
So I think I agree to an extent. I always think of relationships as it's a power dynamic. And it's like negotiations. Yeah, you always want to hold the power. Never let go of the power.
And I would agree, because the pulling away is holding the power.
Yes, that is a form of holding power. In this, though, like, you have to decide, like, so in negotiations, the biggest play you have is being willing to walk away from a deal.
Yes.
So if someone doesn't meet your end of the bargain, if they don't meet, if you're saying like, hey, you're going to do this for X, Y, and Z, but you're like, no, fuck Z, I'm doing it for X, Y, and B. If they don't want to do that, then you're just like, cool, deal done. That's it, over. So if you're at the point in a relationship where this person's like, you don't want to be their fuck buddy, and you want things to move to the next step, and you don't want to keep sleeping with them to keep reinforcing that relationship, you have to ask yourself, like, okay, is that it? If they're not meeting you on these terms, then you can't, like, you can pull away, or you could just be like, hey, for me to continue having sex with you, this is what I want from you. Where are you at with that? How does that make you feel? Like, I'm a firm believer in transparency over just wishy-washy. Like, when you pull away, someone might be thinking like, what did I do?
Oh, I see.
Which you might want them to do that, but that's just games. That's just games. That's not like a direct, like, problem solving approach to it. And I just always thought, I always loved just the, like, here's what I want, no bullshit. And then they're on their, like, they're either going to meet you they're either going to meet you where you want them to meet you, or they're not. And then you have to be like, cause if you're not prepared to end it at that moment, and then you continue, you don't want to be in that position.
Sure,
you don't want to have made a point for yourself and then just continue.
Sure. But here's my thing with it.
Ambiguously sleeping with someone.
Right. But my thing is this. People do what they want to do. Okay?
Yeah.
It's in every rom-com. It starts off with a guy. He's sleeping with the girl. Okay. This is like 90s rom-com, right? So it's always the classic, like, girl's sleeping with the guy's aloof. They're booty calling. They do the thing. They keep trying. She keeps wanting more. We're trying to figure out what's going on. And then he meets another girl, immediately falls in love, immediately gets married. And for me, it's like the proof is in the concept. If he's not committing, if he's not saying, let's hang out outside of sex, then he doesn't want to. And it's like, if it was electric for him or her to be around you outside of sex, it would be happening. Clearly, the sex is good, but clearly the emotional connection isn't there as much. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's why I say pull away, because I go, sometimes people can take advantage, or some people can think that they're like the shit and I can get whatever I want. And so you pulling away might wake them up to realize, oh, I've been an asshole. But I honestly think that you going, what are we will cause that person to maybe even more so go, ooh, this is too crazy or whatever. Well,
what are we is, that's a little different than just being like, hey, we've been dating for 2 months.
No, but not dating.
Okay. We've been sleeping together.
Friends.
We've been meeting up. We've basically been meeting up, watching Netflix and sleeping together on weeknights.
Right.
Or weekends where we're not doing anything.
Right.
You're not inviting me over to your friends for fucking Magic the Gathering. You're not inviting me to go play FIFA at your boy's house. Right. Like, what the fuck are we?
All right, broads, we're popping back in. Listen, so I often find myself in an interesting conundrum. I love eating a home-cooked meal, but I don't like cooking. So what's a girl to do? Well, I'll tell you. You sign up for HelloFresh, and there you go. Problem solved. I've been eating HelloFresh meals like probably 4 days a week these days, and it doesn't get much better than that.
HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit for a reason, because when you join HelloFresh, you're going to get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. No more trips to the grocery store. No more messy meal prep. It's healthy, delicious meals done easy. So easy, in fact, that I get to have Ruth involved. She loves it. I'm like, here, just dump this little thing in the bowl, dump this in the bowl, mix it up, bada bing, bada boom.
Ruth, future sous chef extraordinaire.
Yes. Call her Julia Childs. Every single week, you'll pick over 25 different recipes, from vegetarian meals to gourmet options. There's literally something for everyone, every craving you might have. HelloFresh has you covered.
I have yet to have a meal from HelloFresh that wasn't incredibly good, but if I had to pick a favorite recent one, it would have to be their BBQ pulled chicken tacos. Oh my God.
That sounds amazing.
So good. They're delicious. It's truly shocking that they're just ready in 15 minutes. Correct. 15 minutes. And because all of the ingredients are pre-measured and portioned, it's a great way to bring Ember in on the action, just like Ruth. We got our kids in the kitchen. I can't wait till I don't have to make anything at all. I just send Ember in with HelloFresh. Beautiful. We love cooking dinner as a family, and you don't have to worry about any potential mishaps or wasted ingredients.
Go to HelloFresh.com/chatty12. Use code chatty12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/chatty12. Use code chatty12 for 12 free meals, including shipping.
Now back to the bros.
That's a...
Okay. I think it's...
I think where you're right. No, I think that so I'm someone, for instance, like I got ghosted one time.
Right.
And I refused to be ghosted. I would consistently text this person until they responded.
Right.
Because I was like, fuck you. You're not fucking...
You're
that's not how this is. I was also like, what in the world?
Right, right.
No.
This doesn't happen to me.
No.
I am the ghoster.
I was also a firm thing of like, you can't do that because that's weak backbone stuff. That's invertebrate stuff.
But it shows the feeling. Which is, hey... It's not for me.
It shows me, but it also shows me like you can't either. I refuse to take the position of like, I'm not worth their time to tell me this. It's simply that they are a weak ass human being.
Right.
And can't deal with the stress of telling someone how they feel at any reasonable rate.
Got
so
it.
not only are I get so mad. It happened to me one time. I was insanely furious about it. But I always thought like, if I'm going to break up with a girl, she wants to call me an asshole or whatever, that's fine. But I've always been honest.
Right.
I will die an honest asshole.
I will die an honest man.
Than a weak
loser.
Yeah. Or just like...
No, I know what you mean.
You know? So when that happened to me, I was like, no.
Right.
So I was raging. Wow, sick ghost.
But you're not together with that person.
Just like, no, not at all. And I just wanted them to respond.
That's the proof.
And then I was just, once I got him, I was like, got you, never gave the response. But it was just like, yes, it's like trolling someone on the internet. You're like, I just want the response.
You're not trying to connect with someone on the internet. You're trying to win.
So for me, pulling back is like everything you're saying 100%. To me, like, granted, this is like what I want. This is like, a lot of it's like what I'd want to do.
Sure.
But I would always, for me, I need the clarity.
Okay.
I need crystal clear clarity.
Got it.
Not ambiguity.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So when I was dating,
know exactly what happened.
When I was dating, I never wanted to be caught in those positions. So like if I was just interested in a girl to like be like, look, this is really fun, but I don't see like a relationship here.
Yeah.
I would be explicit about that.
Got it. You'd be like, hey, this is exactly what's going on.
Like, look, we can continue to date, but like I'm also going to date. I'm going to be going on dates with other people.
Got it.
Are you okay with that?
Sure. Like setting up the fuck buddy situation as opposed to stringing them along for the sex in order to... Yeah, of course.
Totally.
That's
like,
called a bad person.
It's an asshole move to be like, here's what I have a lot of fun with you, but I don't see this as an exclusive relationship. It's like, yeah, you're an asshole for saying that, but I'm honest.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say it's an asshole. I would say it's an asshole if the whole thing was like, built on... It wasn't, then all of a sudden you surprise someone with that.
Well,
but
exactly. Then you're absolutely an asshole.
Yeah. Okay, another question.
Okay.
Is it possible to have a successful relationship and be stronger after taking a break?
I mean, so more little anecdotes.
Mm-hmm.
We started couples therapy.
Okay.
It's something that it's only positive when both people want to improve. So
Got
like
it.
if you're taking a break,
Right, an intentional break.
if you're taking an intentional break, it's only going to work if both people want something positive to happen at the end of it.
If it's not give me a breath, I'm dying here. If it's more like I need to get in shape for the marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Definitely agree. My thing is this, and this is more just like not assuming, but generalizing. If you've been in a relationship for a long time, like at least 8 months to a year, like minimum. I know people that like are taking breaks 2 months in, and I'm like, okay, listen, if you take breaks, if you've taken a break within your first 6 months of dating, it ain't gonna work. Like, cause you're in full honey. So if you're taking breaks during the honeymoon phase, wait till you lock in.
You don't
baby.
want to be there.
No. It's someone needs an escape. Someone's in a toxic situation and they can't let it go. So they're like putting these weird barriers in place and making the person jump over them, and they keep jumping over the barriers and chasing them. And then, so it's like, my thing is like, it can totally work. If you've put a lot of time in, if you've developed a super serious relationship, if you're really working to the next level, and then there's something that's going on that's like really problematic and the person needs to change. And so you both see it and you both say, we need a break, then yes.
Yeah.
But if this is like some sort of like, I don't know, I'm just like annoyed and I just need to breathe. You're not going to like breathe and go, never mind, I'm not annoyed anymore.
No.
You're going to get pressured back into the relationship if you get back in, and then you're going to end up right where you went back.
Absolutely. I mean, the key in all these situations for me, like, I think all relationships hinge on honesty and transparency. So it's like, if you're taking a break and you both honestly invested in the positive outcome at the end of the break,
Sure.
then it's probably going to result in something positive.
100%.
Or you'll both be able to take an honest look at the relationship and be like, okay, it's actually not working.
Right.
But I'm convinced that there are plenty of people who are insanely dishonest, not only to themselves, but their partner. And then like you end up in these situations where it's like you are in couples therapy, but the other person's not actually in it. They're just going through the gambit so that you can't say to them that they didn't do it.
Yeah.
But they're not actually invested in the situation.
One of the most hurtful things you can do is to just try to protect someone's feelings. Because what actually happens is you screw them over twofold by not being real with them. So a lot of times what happens with the breaks is that people go, you know what? Work's been crazy. I just feel like I haven't been able to commit my time to the relationship. It's been really hard. I just need a break to kind of gather my thoughts and figure out what I want. That's a lie.
It's also like you're gaslighting this person.
Right. It's not you. It's not me. It's you. Or no, it's like that. It's not you. It's me, but it's really you.
Yeah, but actually
I'm making you. It's what is that?
It's not you. It's me. Is it Jerry?
No. It's the other one?
Is it from Seinfeld?
I think so. And he like always does that. George. It's like his class. That's how he breaks up with every woman.
Classic. It's not you. It's me.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like that's a classic lie. It's you never break up with someone because you got issues.
Yeah.
If that person gives you life and makes your life better, you're never going to break up with them because you're like, this is amazing. If anyone ever says it's not you, it's me, lying to your face. No one gives away great things.
Or they're simply just, it's the like when they're saying that, they could mean it, but it's from the like, it's not you, it's simply I don't want to be with you, so therefore it's me.
Exactly. It's like
me not wanting to be here anymore.
Right, which is technically you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean
because of who you are.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you did something wrong. It just means that's how they feel.
It's just you are you, and it's not compatible with. I'm just
right.
You're not me. You're not me type.
It's the real problem with you is you're not me.
And I am looking for me because I'm in love with me.
Right. Be more like me.
Yeah. If you could just understand me more.
Yeah. Do you guys have a reoccurring argument?
Yeah.
Like just kind of like it's always this one.
Yes. The recurring argument is when Becca or the kids stand in the way of me being able to do whatever the fuck I want to do. And I can't.
It's the Bachelor Lifestyle mixed with the Family Man.
Suddenly it's the still coping with that I am not the center of my world anymore.
And I will say, man, you got thrust into it. You went from zero to not the center of the world.
Yes.
As opposed to there wasn't a gradual, well, each little, you just like got catapulted to the top of the mountain.
Yes.
And so the weather's crazy up there and you're trying to like figure out how to handle it.
To say, I was looking forward to owning my own business as a single bachelor.
And all the reasons why.
Let's be honest, because when you're dating, one of the first things that comes, everyone's like, "Oh, don't ask them what they do." But then you ask them, you're like, "So, okay, like you're however many times you've tried to put off that question, it's gonna come up. Like, what do you do?" And you just be like, "Oh, like I work whatever fucking job, I hate it." And you're just like, "Oh, actually, I started my own business."
Right.
And it's like,
oh, wow. You were really hoping for your sexy moment.
Yeah. I was looking forward to my sexy moment.
You were looking for it's like a version of you go into someone's house and they have a piano there and you sit down and you just shred on the piano.
Oh, shred!
Like, whoa! Oh my god!
And you're like, oh yeah,
this whole thing.
Yeah, no, you always imagine being the guy where it's like there's a party or soiree, and no one can play the instrument.
There's many vases around the house.
Yeah, and honestly, look, the campfire guitar one's like it's not the same thing as Suits with a piano.
You just sit down.
Curtains.
You sit down and you like have your tail cut and you kind of throw it out and you sit down and you say, "Darling, what is this?" You
tickle the keys a little bit and then you go
something.
And then it's a Halloween party and you go straight into Monster Mash, ripping on the piano.
That's an insane.
And you have someone dressed as the Bride of Frankenstein sitting on the piano with their cocktail singing the whole thing for you.
Okay, so it's like a whole thing.
It was the mash.
That's an insane one to do.
Or I was just saying, it was the first one that came into my head, like a party song.
Of all the songs. Of all the parties. You're like, Monster Mash. Like, it's like
this. Smash. It's a banger, dude.
I love that. I love
Monster Mash is an absolute banger.
Having a secret hidden talent is definitely like such a fun
My buddy,
fantasy.
So one of my friends in college, his name is Jack Yaguda.
Love that name.
It's such a good name. Yaguda. Are you kidding me? Fun fact, his dad created the slogan "Peanut Buttery Butterfinger."
Whoa.
Wow. Except he doesn't collect royalties from every Butterfinger sold because he was on contract to create that slogan.
Yeah, so he was just getting like a salary.
It's just that thing. Every single store, every single gas station, he's like, "Oh yeah, I made that."
Yeah, he's like, got nothing to show for it.
Constant validation. But he also was responsible for the Butterfinger BB. But Jack,
just the Butterfinger King,
right? Dude,
just the Candy King.
This man had an effect on my childhood. But his son was an incredible musician, like any instrument. And he played obscure instruments. So he like spent time in India playing tablas. So you think you understand Jack's talents because those are the outward ones. Those are the ones that come up to parties. The man was a tap dancing champion.
Wow.
And I found this out after like 3 years of knowing him. It casually got dropped in conversation. And I was like, wait, what? Hold the phone. Everyone needs to stop everything they're doing. Jack tap dance. And he was in like little slipper Birkenstocks and just busted out a little, like, I don't know what the name, Charleston Shuffle, like some kind of tap. Yeah. It was incredible. How often do you get to see like people tap dance up close? Not often, but I'll also honest with you. I don't seek it out. I love not something necessarily like I go, wow, I want more of that. Talents like that are my favorite. So kind of benign. Utterly benign. I mean, tap dancing is the most benign of talent. But it's like I can touch. I'm double jointed. Like my elbows are double jointed. You're just kind of like, okay. It literally leaves me. But I mean, within 30 seconds, I'm done. It will leave me grinning like a Muppet, like staring at someone. It's the kind where you're like, honey, get up, look at this. Yeah, you're wasting. Like, look at this guy. But now this guy's like the party favor. He's kind of like the guy everyone's just kind of like, that's weird. Yeah, but look at this guy. Endless entertainment. That's true. I'm like, dude, those kinds of hidden talents. I'm like, oh my god. Right. Not this guy. I think I'm more amazed by you spent a lot of time doing this. Oh yeah, it's such an icebreaker in that of like it's like I was on competitive swim teams till I was like 17. From like 6 years old to 17,
Right.
I was in a
and then you leave and you're like,
competitive
why
swimmer.
did I do that?
I could have been tap dancing that whole
You
time.
could have been tap dancing.
No one just gets to like, I can't just, that's not a skill that travels with me. The second you stop swimming, you like stop being a fast swimmer.
So you need a pool. And even if you
and
had
you're
a
like,
pool,
"Dude,
no
check
one...
this out. I got a talent. But you have to come down to the pool
Well, and race me.
and you have to be there like 6 a.m. because that's when we practice.
Well, the thing about the swimming
Yeah.
too, is that it's not impressive unless you're racing someone. Because it's slower than like walking. So like if you're watching someone swim fast, live it doesn't seem fast unless you're trying to beat them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like yeah, I feel like that's the story of my life is like researching stuff online, figuring out how to do it, and then realizing, why did I waste that? Why did I do that?
So backtracking, hidden talents, green light. That's a bonus. Green flag.
Okay. Well, it means that there's dedication. I like that.
I like that too. Also, it's a sick icebreaker with your friends.
That's true.
Be like, yeah, so this is the girl I'm dating. Do the thing.
Right. Dance.
Show them what you do. How
Yeah,
tight
right.
how sick is that?
Me and Jess's recurring fight is that I'm selfish.
Oh, so it's very similar.
It's but in different ways. So yours is the like maintaining the bachelor lifestyle.
Okay.
Mine is the just like I just forget that she does so much. You know what I'm saying? So like we'll just be on vacation and I'll be like, oh, because like there was a big shift in our relationship. I used to kind of do a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The like, and then at some point in time, I just woke up and it wasn't like that anymore. And she was taking care of so many things. And I got lazy with it. And then like, there'd just be times when like, we just like are on vacation and we're like doing all these things. And I was kind of like, oh my God, Jess kind of did all this. And now I'm like not doing a lot in reciprocation. You know what I mean? Like I'm not checking in on her to make sure she's okay. I'm not like, oh my God, you did this and this and this and this and this. How can I help with this? I'm just kind of like floating through it and realizing like, and not realizing until it's like presented to me like, hey, by the way, like I did all this. Can you help me out with this small thing? And but so like in my own world. So it's like, I always am in these waves of like, I'm tuned in, I'm helping a lot. And then there's waves where I'm like, I'm just in my own world and I'm like working and I'm doing my thing. And then I'm just like, oh my God, I haven't like been a part of the details at all.
Well, it's like a catch because you're never going to be doing as much as mom.
That's the thing too, is like, they're always doing more than you'll ever do. And so you always just feel kind of like, okay, sorry. Like
that.
And they think of everything too. She thinks of everything. I don't get it.
The amount of times I've wound up in the doghouse from forgetting that is incountable. It's literally it's impossible to count.
The amount. Well, I have at the gym, and you're like, so
I'm in the doghouse
47 things
all the time for this. Exactly, dude. I have my go-tos are like you never.
Right. Oh, dude, I should get a tattoo because I do never. That's a good tattoo.
You never. Please start.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh man, if I start any sentence with those things, I'm in the doghouse. I've walked myself out there.
Oh, so you saying you never?
Oh, me saying you never to Becca is boom, one-way ticket. I'm on the couch.
One-way ticket to the couch.
I'm on the couch.
Have you ever slept on the couch?
Dude, I just wait till like I put in a book on tape and start watch anime, and then wait till like 1:30 in the morning when she's like a little more like, or like just later in the night when she's a little quieter, and and then I just crawl back into bed.
I like that approach. See, that's a good approach because it's kind of the harmless approach.
I can't sleep on the couch.
You're not fighting your way back.
You're
just simple. You know what you're like? That's like the little kid who gets told to go back to bed, and then like in the middle of the night you just wake up and they're next to you.
Yeah.
You're like pulling the move. You're like pulling the little kid move. You're like, I'm not. I know it's a losing battle if I fight my way back into that bed. But I'll wait till she goes to bed and then I'll slowly crawl back in.
Just go back in there. It's
I'm
not
like,
even worth
what?
it.
Is she gonna like fight me out? No, it's not.
The thing that sucks too is like 1 out of 10 times I'll be right.
Right.
1 out of 10 times.
Right.
It's enough to keep me fighting, but it's
I don't need a lot to keep going.
I don't need a lot to keep going.
Us guys don't need a lot.
Like I said, it's the power struggle.
give us
I don't
a
want to let go of my
little-
power. Even if I know I have no power in the situation, I don't want to let go of it. No one wants to let go of their
no one
power.
wants to let go of the power.
No.
You don't want to feel that helplessness.
No.
You don't want to be out floundering.
Maybe I want to just go out there and watch anime.
She's like, you're sitting on the couch, you're like, good.
Sick.
The couch is more comfortable than the bed anyway.
Now I'm just going to go out here. I'm going to catch up on my Naruto episodes.
Do you think I want to sit next to you?
Not like this. Not now.
Get out of here. Naruto?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
This is the one that
Naruto.
came to mind.
I like Naruto. I mean, that sounds great. I don't know
Naruto's
anything about.
sick.
I don't know anything about it. We watched anime together.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? We watched that one Netflix while the ladies were recording. We were watching the kids, and I'd never seen anime before, and he showed me anime.
Anime's tight.
Anime is sick.
I used to have
I
an
didn't know anything about
anime.
it.
I used to have an anime suggestions show. It wasn't a review show. It was a suggestion show for people who don't watch anime.
Really?
Because it was like, it's like music where it's like, oh, I want to get into this genre of music, and you're like, cool. Well, there's like top 10s. Like, here are the top 10 kings of this genre. Or like these are the people who did this best.
Okay.
So you should start with them, and not necessarily the mainstream. It'd be like, hey, I want to listen to reggae music, and your friend's like, dude, you got to check Bob Marley.
This guy
you gotta
Bob?
check it out, and you're like, no.
Okay.
There's a lot of other people
Got it.
who made reggae music that aren't Bob Marley, and they're very good,
Got it.
and you should probably check those things out
Okay.
because it's a little less mainstream.
It's a bit of an education.
Yeah.
You're providing an education.
Yeah. Be like, here's the cream of the crop.
Got it.
So we had the show. It was called Unicorn Suggestions.
Was it a YouTube thing?
This is what I did before I did. This is what I did before
I
kids,
understand
dude.
now why you're struggling with
I had
the
like
independence
creative freedoms. We'd be in the garage and we would be filming. Like we all wanted to work in TV in some way, and we literally got together and like wrote scripts and created these shows
Yeah.
and skit shows, like all kinds of stuff.
That's fun.
It was really fun.
I could totally see you doing
It
that.
was really fun. It was awesome. It was like the kind of stuff we were just saying. This kind of stuff you can't. It's like relationship kids that get in the way of this stuff.
Yeah. Babe, you're getting in the way of my anime suggestion show. Okay.
Literally.
Literally.
The amount of anime the amount of time I have to watch anime now is so sad in comparison to how much anime I used to watch. I used to be caught up on everything, man.
What was your? Yeah. Okay. I get that. That's everything. I mean, we definitely have to die to
We
something.
would smash through seasons. We'd like get together. It was like social TV.
Got it.
Like video games can be antisocial and then
Yeah.
they can be super social.
Yeah, it brings people together.
And it was in that. It was like we had a group of friends, like we'd get together, like switch up houses, order dinner, make dinners. We'd have these like, anime night. And then it's like our friends when we played Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer and all that. It's like, you think of those things as like, oh, it's like kind of like, like you're not going out, but it's like, who would want to go out when you could play Warhammer
I get that.
with all your friends?
And it's really like quality time too.
Yeah.
Because you're like discussing, strategizing. I get that.
It's fun.
How do you maintain independence while growing in a long-term relationship? I feel like this is
Sacrifice. You have to sacrifice your independence
Yeah.
to get any semblance of it back.
Okay.
Just metaphorically kill yourself and realize you're never gonna be that person ever again. Say goodbye to that person. I was saying when you get in a long-term relationship, you should everyone's focused on the wedding, but you should just have a funeral for who you used to be also.
I like the idea. I love the idea of you have a wedding, and then right after the wedding, the sparklers. Yeah, oh my god, yeah. And then you get in a limo,
Yeah, you go straight to the graveyard.
and then you drive to a graveyard, and in the grave is you doing whatever you used to love.
yeah.
And then
gone.
there's a picture of you. So it's you watching anime with buddies. It's me on some trip or golfing all the time or something. And then we take our pictures, we set them in the grave, and we bury them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do a ceremony, We, it was
really
a great
kids.
time, this whole thing. And then after, you move on.
Yes. And you should have you should be able to have that closure and acceptance and not get blindsided.
And you can
it.
visit the tombstone.
Yeah.
Here lies
the
Evan
life.
and Grayston's past.
Here lies the life I once led when it was my life and I could lead it. Because now
I love visiting the gravestone with flowers. You're like, babe, I gotta go to the cemetery for a little bit. You're like, oh, okay, cool. And you get flowers, you set it down, you walk back.
Just be like, yeah, whenever you're having problems in your relationship, you can go back and mourn when you used to just not have the problems of a relationship because you didn't have a relationship and you didn't realize how free you were.
But in all seriousness, maintaining independence, I think that you both. So here's the thing. It comes back to the whole, like, once you're in a relationship, all the rules are out the window. It's like you're still a person. You're still just a person who is with someone, who is friends with someone who has a romantic element to it. Like, this isn't magic.
No.
This isn't sorcery. This is simply, I fell in love with someone. I love being around them. We have sex. This is incredible. But you shouldn't change everything about yourself. So, like, if you have to, like, you need to maintain independence, just like you don't
balance.
and just like you don't spend every waking moment with one of your friends, and they don't tell you how to live, and they don't control you. Like,
you can't eat
it'll make you
cheeseburgers
better.
every day.
It'll make you better.
Yes.
Your independence will make you better for the relationship.
It will, but it takes balance.
Yeah.
And you need to understand the balance. Absolutely. You have to sacrifice your freedom. And you have to sacrifice your independence in order to have independence.
Right.
It sounds counterintuitive.
But the thing is like if someone wants independence in a relationship, as long as it's healthy independence, right? If it's like independence that makes you a better person, and that person has a problem with it, there's a jealousy problem. There's a controlling problem.
There's a hack though. There's a hack.
Okay.
There's a life hack. It's called intentional time.
Got it. Oh, right.
It's intentional time. This is a big fucking key word that your partner is really going to appreciate. It's called intentional time. It's not default relationship time. It's time that you invested your own personal time into thinking about spending time with that significant person that you've chosen to be in a relationship with.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
It's not automatic time where it's just like,
no,
we were hanging out.
Those things
I was eating over there and you were doing on your phone over there. We hung out today. It's like,
when you're talking about being on vacation and realizing that like Jess planned your vacation, like researched your hotel, booked the travel.
Yeah.
That's called intentional time.
That's super intentional.
That's super intentional.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Showed up.
Just pretty much.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
No. And if you're doing it all the time, this is what I'm insanely guilty of.
Yeah.
Then when I ask for the be like, oh, my friends last minute, we talk about getting together to play poker.
Right.
I'm going to go. I'm going to miss dinner. I'm going to miss putting the kids down for bed. I'm probably not going to get home until 2 a.m. I'm probably just going to sleep on his couch. I'm going to get too drunk. And then I'm going to be hungover the next. Are you good with that? When it's like, if I haven't
put the intentional
set out time into place to be like, hey, Thursday night, here's what I've got going on. Sunday, after we can go, like, I've arranged for Ruth and Franklin are going to be with my parents. I booked us, got in a time before COVID. I booked us stuff we're going to the K-Spa.
Oh, okay.
Like little things where it's like, oh my gosh, like, honey, like you thought about this, like you staked this out a week ahead of time. And it's like, yeah, just cause I want to go to do this thing with my friends, but like I also have like, I want to see you. I've never done the scenario that I've laid out.
No, this is all
the talk we have.
And let's also just kind of recap here. None of this is advice is coming from a place of we do it all the time.
No, we are
this is like reading a book, reciting the answer.
I know what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. I know I have a problem.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I'm going to do the right thing.
No.
But I know how to tell you how to fix your problems.
I've listened to the things. I just don't want to do it yet.
Yeah. I mean, if I listened to the advice my whole life, my life would be very different. I'd be way richer. I'd be way happier because I would have fixed all my shit and invested when I should have invested. Good at giving advice, not so good at taking the advice we're giving.
No. And most of the advice I'm giving is the stuff that I get. It's told to me in the argument that I'm on the losing side of.
Right.
That's where I'm coming from. I'm just giving you Becca's advice.
I'm reciting what I've been told.
Yeah. These are the lessons I've learned. These are the lessons I'm learning.
Yeah.
That I've yet to enact.
Right. This is more me telling myself what I should be doing.
Yeah, intentional time.
I like intentional time. Yeah, I think that like you have to realize it's like the gym or something. It's like working out or getting good at anything. It's like you have to plan it. You have to be intentional about it. You can't just let it happen because it's like it's not showing respect to the other person. No,
and I also think there's a slippery slope of like when you get into the point in your relationship where you start living together, you're so much, I call it the default time because it's roommate.
Yeah.
It's your roommate.
You just kind of default to like, oh, we hung out all day yesterday. It's like, well, just because we were in the same building doesn't mean we hung out.
No, and that's what Becca always says to me because we're like taking care of the kids. Where it's like being mom and dad is not hanging out. That's not our relationship.
You can also go to the park for 3 hours with your significant other and walk away and be like, we didn't hang out. I chased around a kid all day. Like there was, even though we spent 3 hours together, technically, we didn't hang.
I was in dad mode.
There was no sense of like, oh, I hung out with you. We got our connection. Now I can go get my connection with some friends. It's like, no, I didn't get any connection, so now I'm going to go. You know, it's like, it's not the same. And especially like you said, when you have kids. But for those of you who don't have kids, I think that like when two people commit to like spending quality time together, then a lot of times what happens is you then respect each other enough and you then go, I want you to be better, so go have fun. Like, you know what I mean? Like the only time I think that someone goes, wait, why are you hanging out with them? What are you doing? Is because they don't feel like you've connected with them. You know, it's like they feel like you're not putting the time and the work in with them. They're not like the connection isn't there. So you're going, well, we haven't really even connected and you're already wanting to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I take it as they're threatened by that.
So then it makes them threatened because they feel jealous about the situation. But if you're in a good situation, you should want that person. Oh, you're gonna have a guys' night or a girls' night and connect with your friends. Go have fun, like go connect, because I know you'll come back happier.
Do it for yourself, yeah. Be like, you know what, I'm gonna be that cool partner and be like, yeah, you go do that.
Go do it.
Go do it. Challenge yourself. Let them go do it. They're not gonna run away. And maybe they will, but most likely they won't.
For you personally, if you have a problem with it, it shows that you need to go to be more independent.
Dude, this was okay. So as you all know, listening, Becca's constantly talking about not polyamory, but this open
relationship.
Yes.
You're like, nah, whatever. It is.
You know what? Actually, they interviewed Vanderpump.
Yes.
She was like, you have a catch. Lisa Vanderpump's on team me.
Yes. So
that was sick to find that out because it was like, finally. But finally someone's on my side.
Finally.
But Becca was reading these books where it was like a lot about in these situations where people have multiple relationships. I actually think these lessons, it's a lot of self-reflection stuff. I think it applies to people who are not in these who are in a monogamous relationship.
Oh, got it.
A lot of it is examining areas where you are threatened by your partner being with and around someone else. And I actually find it really interesting for anyone who's, unfortunately, I can't remember the name of the book, but a lot of it talks about with like the examines what could possibly be happening in your train of thought where you do feel so threatened by someone spending their time with someone that's not you. And where is that coming from?
Yeah.
And it was like, it's actually, for being a book about how do you maintain a relationship while sleeping with other people, it's actually just a really good book to be like, how do you maintain your relationship with this just one person? Because all of it's about self-examination.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool.
That's super interesting to think about when it comes to what makes you act a certain way. And all these questions are related to this, which is
why are you threatened by this?
Why? Like most of the things we do, if you're completely unthreatened, completely confident, completely independent, but also completely communicative and loving and all these things, then you're never really going to struggle with anything because you're going to be honest. You're going to be open. You're going to be caring. You're going to think about what the other person needs. You're going to help them get it. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like a lot of this comes from just our insecurities in life and our trying to survive and us trying to feel valued and us trying to feel cared for. So it's like, if I'm someone who goes, I don't want you to be so independent, it makes me feel like you don't care about me. That's an insecurity of mine. And if I'm someone who goes, you're smothering me, it's because I haven't done a good job setting up our relationship to make you feel loved so that you will be excited when I go do my thing.
Yeah.
But I created this kind of dynamic to where now you're questioning us all the time because I haven't given you this feeling of like, I got you, I got your back. So
Absolutely.
it's like, it always comes down to just an unhealthy dynamic.
But that side of like, I have your back to me is like, that's a sign of a good relationship is like, we were borrowing quotes from some other thing of like, you deserve the love. What is it? The perks of being a wallflower coat of like, you accept the love you think you deserve.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic quote on terms of like, why do we do dumb things or put ourselves in these situations? The other one is like, it was on the line of what we were talking about of like being with a partner who makes you want to be a better version of yourself. But when you're in love with someone, you're in love with who that person is constantly, not who they are in that moment. And people change, people are amorphous. And like your partner should be someone who encourages you to explore potential change in yourself.
Yeah.
Not someone who like wants to keep you as you currently are. And so it's like, those are signs where like, for instance, like, Becca really wants to pursue more stuff in school. It's so stressful for us to think about taking on more things, but we're going to go through the pain of like, or the painstaking process of trying to find out how we balance her taking on more stuff. Because the last thing I want to do is be like, no. And it's the same thing for her supporting me of like, we're both so ambitious. We want to keep on taking more projects. But at the end of the day, we're supportive. First and foremost, are supportive of us taking on more than being like, no. It's more of a question of like, can we make it work? How do we do this? How do we balance it?
And that's the thing too, is like, this isn't some sort of like, you should just be down for everything and say yes. Like there's gonna be times where we're both gonna look at our partner, or they're gonna look at us and be like, too much, or not good, or whatever. But it's also being like, don't start with that. Start with like, how do I make this person feel valued? How do I back this person up? How do I make them feel loved? How do I hook them up? And then go, okay, maybe this isn't healthy. Maybe we got to figure this out. But it's like a lot of people, like you said, it's a big one, which is like, keep you as you are. The last thing you want is that I never want to be the same person every year. I want to grow and change, and you should want that for your partner. Mm-hmm. But if you're afraid that them growing might shift them away from you,
or shift the dynamic of your relationship,
then that's a surefire way that it is going to happen.
I mean, look, we were talking earlier, not to divulge too much. We were talking earlier before the podcast. You were the breadwinner of your family.
Yeah. For like 85% of the relationship.
And then you had one job and you lost your job.
Yeah. I mean, it was a mixture. I was doing a bunch of different stuff, but I mean, even aside from like, honestly, whatever. But even if that didn't happen, Jess is killing it now. So like, even if nothing happened in my life, she'd still be winning more than I.
And that's a crazy dynamic shift.
And I'll be super honest with you. It was not an overnight like, okay, cool. I mean, it took a long time for us to figure that out because the dynamic was so specific for so long that it's like, my ego, my sense of worth, how the relationship was set up, everything was one way for like 8 years. And so it's like, to have it switch on a dime like that was amazing, but also like definitely took a lot of like growth and self-reflection and relationship reflection and figuring out we are more than this dynamic we've set up for the last 8 years, that like we are a loving couple that loves each other. Doesn't matter what we're doing or what happens. We got each other. And I think it was a journey. It wasn't overnight,
Dude, Becca's parents talk about like, they go back to like her dad became very successful over the course of their lives.
Yeah.
But they constantly talk about how they were like, if I was to lose all of it, it's like overnight, he goes, I know I'd be happy.
Right.
Because we were still happy then. That's why I always find it's like very cool to me when they talk about those things of like, if everything were to shift,
Right.
if the entire balance of their life were to kind of suddenly shift out of place, they would still be happy.
Yeah.
Because it was like they're happy together.
Yeah.
Navigating those things, not staying stagnant, moving through life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like you said, choosing, you were said like a couple weeks ago, like choosing each other.
Yeah. You have to choose each other. I mean, this is a Bachelor term. You have to choose each other every day.
Right.
And that's where it's like to answer that question on like, there's a long-term situation where it's like, yeah, if you choose that, if you're making the solid choice to put the best effort forward to make the situation work, it's the best probability of it working.
Right. Totally.
And the best probability of walking away positive.
Yeah. I agree completely. And we never mess this up. We do it every day perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the beauty of us.
We have perfect relationships.
We have perfect relationships. We're perfect to our partners. And you guys should try to be more like us.
I'm 100% a perfect partner.
Yeah, and that's anyone who doesn't believe that is an idiot.
Yeah, anyone who finds fault or criticizes me is just, it's sad. I feel sad for you and your blindness.
Thank you for the questions.
Or Evan, if you ever criticize Evan, you're just
listen.
Like, I'm coming for you.
Don't criticize me ever.
Ever, never, ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm fine. No, everything's fine. Thank you for the questions, everybody.
Thank you for the
questions.
questions.
That was awesome. That was fun to walk through. I think what's cool about these questions too is they remind us of shit that's going on in our life. And, oh, you know what? This reminds me. I haven't done that lately. The other day when we had that conversation, I didn't really handle that well.
This is what I'm saying, dude. It makes you, when we were talking about the last episode, how has all of this changed us? It's making us better people.
It's true.
It's making us better people. Any updates? Any updates from Evan?
You mean the personal?
Yeah, just personal, business, whatever. Updates, things you want to share.
Just working on shows. Shows are starting to come back slowly. So tours for the year. I work with a lot of artists on their tours and things like that. They're slowly starting to come back. So we're starting to work on those, which is fun. Definitely been crazy and stressful, but excited to be back in what I love doing.
Tried to give you snaps
for
the shows coming back.
We'll see. Hopefully safe shows will make their way back.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, funny you should ask.
Oh, crazy. No, I should have wrapped it up. No, cool. Anyway, thank you guys so much.
No. Things are good. Actually, we have a fun thing to announce is the gym did a collaboration with a company called Mr. Green.
Sick.
We made fun. I'm actually wearing it. It says Getting High in Long Beach.
I want one.
And then on the back it says, so Mr. Green it's like a weed company, clothing brand, but then also the climbing pun of getting high. So on the back of the shirt, it says high 7 days a week from 10 to 10, Long Beach Rising. So you can come down to Long Beach and get high with us.
Love that.
Yeah. Go like on the rock climbing walls, you get high up. But you can actually, broads, if you feel so inclined and you want to support the gym, you can actually do so by purchasing these things through the Mr. Green shop. MisterGreen.
There's the plug.
Shop Mr. Green. And our collaboration is up there. We made water bottles, tote bags, chalk brushes with a little secret compartment to put your joint in.
Love that.
It's the first time you've ever been able to support the gym retroactively.
Love that. Big plug.
We'd love
big
it.
plug.
Big plug.
Amazing.
It's a sort of look. I have to put it out there.
I think you should, absolutely. And if you want to support me, go to one of the tours that I make. Put a sign and that says, "Evan, we liked it."
Everyone wants to know who it is. Whose tour?
Bunch of different people.
Evanescence.
Yeah, mainly Evan. Mainly
back.
rock bands from 1993.
Oasis.
Yeah, I wish. Oh my God, that would change my life. I could die. Anyway, love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Love you, broads. We will see you in 2 weeks. We are now a staple, by the way. You ain't getting rid of us. We are here for the next 20 years. Deal with it. Chat soon. We love you.
Chat soon.